Hello, everyone. I know, long time no see. Well, here we are back again with Members Unplugged. I am Toastmaster Vaishali, Area N2 Director, District 98 Toastmasters International. I welcome you all to the 10th episode of Members Unplugged with an N because we are Division N. Today, we have with us Doel Bhattacharya from TCS Nagpur Toastmasters Club, an individual passionate about exploring ideas in HR domain, inquisitive learner, working professional at TCS. She says she wishes to explore and contribute as much as she can to make a difference in the society. Beautiful thoughts. So, hello Doel, how are you?
Hi, Vaishali. I'm doing good. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction.
My pleasure. Firstly, I would want to tell you that I love your name. I remember hearing it first time from the Palika, and in that moment, I was like, wow, that is such a sweet name. So, my first question would be, what is the meaning of your name, and do you have a story associated with it?
Yes, I have a long story associated with it. So, this name was given by my grandpa. So, the word Doel means it's a name of a bird. This bird is now also very much found in Kolkata, basically in West Bengal side. So, even you can Google it out, you will find Doel bird. Then, as I was very much inquisitive, like what exactly it's a name of a bird, okay, the voice of the bird is very sweet and such a long thing. But then even I was more inquisitive and curious to know about what does this word means. So once I even googled my name as well. So in that it was written like Doyle means to be very much ambitious, and that
Wow.
same quality even I find in myself very much correlated. And that time I relate that it was not given in that way by my grandpa. He just gave me because this particular bird was very much
Mhm.
famous in that particular area. But how coincidence it was that many of the qualities, when I googled it out, it matches with my personality. So I really love my name. And you know, one more thing, this is
Mhm.
something a bit funny. I have various versions of my name. Like whenever when I got admitted to my school,
Mhm.
I had so many versions. Some used to call me Dolly, some used to call me Doyal, some used to call me Dole, and so many different types of names. Then every time I had to give this introduction that, ma'am, my name is Doyle, and it means this. And then everyone comes to the point, okay, her name is Doyle.
Wow, interesting story there. Also, while going through your profile, I it come to my notice that you're an excellent employee at TCS, but also you're pursuing PGDM in HR and business analytics, if I'm not wrong. So, would you like to talk about that?
Definitely. So I got recruited from my campus after my engineering, computer science. I was pursuing computer science engineering, and then I got recruited in TCS. So I worked for around 2.5 years, and it was a complete software development job. As you also know, it's
Mm-hmm.
completely, we have to be a coder, and I was in the main development team. That is the core coding team. But eventually, with the matter of time, I realized that I'm not that kind of person who loves coding. I was good at it, but I was not enjoying that much how much I used to interact, organizing something, managing. Even we had Spanish in our project. So we had Latin American clients. So even I loved learning Spanish, and then I also started interacting in Spanish with the clients as well. So that was the opportunity which none of them got apart from me because I knew
Mm-hmm.
Spanish that well. So after a lot of you can say introspection about myself, and then even I had a good interaction with various HR events. So I decided, and then yes, Toastmasters was something where I learned how to manage things. And after being the president of the club, that time I realized that no, my you can say my interest lies basically in the management domain, and I wanted to upskill myself just to explore more and more. And
Mhm.
then the idea of MBA came to my mind that I should go for it. And then I started preparing for GMAT, and then the journey began. I'm almost at the urge of end now. So I opted for HR plus business analytics. And right now I am at the state that I really thoroughly enjoyed my MBA journey, participating in case study competitions, then best manager events, all kind of national level fest, even the cultural fest, as well as the literary fest. So a thorough, you can say, gist of the management
Mhm.
life I'm enjoying right now. So it's almost the end. I'll be completing it by May end, and
Oh,
again back to my professional work life. So overall, it's a great roller coaster ride.
well, I have to say that I am completely able to relate with you because I'm a student from IT. And over the years, I've realized I'm not fascinated by coding at all. And like you say, that, interacting with people, being able to learn from different minds, this is what I enjoy. So, wow, it's good to hear that there are more people like me. This also brings me to one more question, that it happens so many times that not everybody has a plan laid out for their career. Perhaps they are thinking when they are in their school that I would want to be a teacher, a doctor, an engineer, but they end up doing something else. So like you talked about that you did your engineering before that. So when you were in your school, did you think that everything was perfectly planned, that you would have to go for these and these options?
No, when I was in school, in my 10th, yeah, after 10th, I was about to take biology because I wanted to be a doctor. So at the end, I feel around 3 days or 3 to 4 days, uh, we had to choose the final subject. Like either I wanted to be in PCM or biology, so I had to choose. So I think 2 days were left, and then I had an interaction with my grandpa. So I had a lot of, you can say, sharing of ideas and
Mhm.
insights from his side. So even he was very much into it. Yes, you should be a doctor, and you have all those qualities. And I loved learning biology in my 10th. But eventually, what happened? My dad. Even I had discussion with him as well.
Mhm.
So he was the one who was already in the medical science group. He moved to pharmaceutics, and then he did his M.Pharma PhD in pharmaceutics. So he was the one who showed me actually how the medical field is, and will I be able to be accustomed in that field. So he showed me all the pros, all the cons of each and every field, and then we both of us did a big research, you can say. Okay, in maths these were the fields which would be open, in biology I would be constrained only to these particular field, and in commerce we have these many fields. And after a thorough research of 2 days, then
Mhm.
finally I decided that yes, I wanted to move towards engineering.
Okay.
So this was the deviation. So nothing was planned. It was something very much, you can say, prompt action taken.
Okay. Okay. Great. Um, Also, like you mentioned, that you love doing a lot of research. And I think as individuals, we all come across situations when we would have to research something. Truth be told, I am very bad when it comes to research. It takes me a lot of time to study things, and then even then, I'm not able to get things that I really need. So, if you can help me out here, and maybe a lot of viewers who are watching who would want to do research, is there any step-by-step procedure or any tips that one should follow when they are doing research?
In my case, even I was very new to research in my PGTM journey.
Mhm.
So, in the second year, in the beginning of my second year, so one of my professor, she is currently pursuing her PhD from NIT K Suratkar. So she was the one who initiated this, you can say, a thought or an idea in my mind that Doyle, why don't you write uh, co-author. You can be co-author with me and we can write one research paper. So I said, ma'am, it's not possible because I never did research and I'm completely new to it. I don't know what I will do. So I feel I'll not able to. So she said, you can give a try at least. And then the journey began. So my first research topic was on gamification in IT because my domain is HR. So most of the concepts we took was from HR. So gamification was my first topic. So as tips, if you asked me like what all tips as a researcher who is a beginner, so the first thing is the topic which you are taking that should be very much interesting to you. It shouldn't be like something very out of the world topic which the person is not fascinated about. The first thing. Then the second thing is if the topic is good, then it is very much important to undergo a kind of literature review. That is the second step for being a good researcher. That is to read about it more and more about the various other researches which has been done on that particular topic. And then comes there are different technical terminologies. I would not go very deep into it, but yeah, just a gist. One is qualitative, one is quantitative. So in qualitative, we take the viewpoints from different practitioners, we interact and we get what exactly the industries are doing, how much to improve, what all things can be incorporated. And in quantitative, it's all about analytics. So as I was learning business analytics simultaneously, so I could also relate and give those thoughts into a numeric. So I did sentiment analysis using Python, the Twitter analysis. So all these things are very much interesting when one just gets into it. So yeah, from that itself, from that particular research paper till now, I wrote around 9 research papers, and four of them has been published already. So that is something. And even now, if someone asks me, I'm always ready to do it. So
Wow, wow. Thank you so much. I hope this will surely help me to be better at my research. Now, I also have to ask you this. As I was going through your LinkedIn profile, your friends and people who recommended you had beautiful things to say about you. And a lot of them also mentioned that you are an amazing team player, but also you lead exceptionally well. So, what would you describe yourself as, a leader or a follower?
what I feel as a leader, it is very important to understand what your team wants. So it shouldn't be the case like I feel myself that I am a leader, I can do whatever I want. No, but it depends according to the situation, how how one has to deal with it. So when there requires collaboration, definitely collaboration should be taken as the first priority. But when tough decisions are to be made, so there even a transformative leadership plays a very important role because during that particular point of time, you can't take everyone's point of view and you can't get into the win-win solution. So sometimes tough decisions are also important for the progress wherever I was working, and definitely taking the opinions of with the team and discussing with them and then coming to the conclusion adds on more because everyone feels that they have a say in the decision making. It should not be like someone feels very much isolated. And one more thing, I always love to give complete freedom to my team. I never bound them to particular thing that no, you have to do this way or you have to do that way. Even in college as well, most of the times I am leading some events or some kind of management fest. So it's very good to give freedom to the team so that they can come up with their own ideas. Maybe that can enhance the show more or the project more. So one of the experience was when I was working in one of the internship as HR strategist, so in Creaton. So that was the time I was leading team of about 20 members. So during that particular time, as a strategist, I have to keep the business point of view as well as an HR lead. I have to keep into consideration particular organizational structure, what it's going on, the processes, how it works, and even the team. So what I feel in short as the balancing, the leader has to be a balancing stone in between. because he is the one who is the bridge between the organization management as well as the team members. So he or she should be very much careful that none of them feel isolated or deviated. So that is the mantra which I always follow.
Wow, I think what you said is really powerful and helpful to all those who are wanting to be leaders in coming years. Now, well, enough about what you're pursuing and what you've been doing. I would now like to know, what do you work towards in your free time?
Oh, the best thing which I love is doing doodle art. I love doodling. So whenever I'm free, I have, I think, around 10 to 15 sketchbooks are completely full. I just
Uh,
start doing it and I love doing it. So doodle art is something which I love to do. Then also I'm very much fascinated towards canvas painting. But currently, because of my tight schedule, I'm not getting that much amount of time to go for a proper canvas painting. But definitely I have done many canvas paintings and I love playing with colors. That is something I really enjoy. And the one more thing which I love to do is dance. That was,
oh, wow.
even I am a classical dancer. I did my Kathak diploma when I was in school in class 10. Till class 10, I had proper diploma course of Kathak. But after 11, 12, as we know, when we go
Mhm.
ahead with our career,
Right.
so we get lost somewhere. But definitely now, during my MBA curriculum, I got various opportunities where I did stage performance. Even in my engineering days, I gave stage performance. So that is something which keeps me always alive. And also, I love to read quotes, or you can say in my free time. Whenever I'm free, I keep on
Mhm.
browsing something or the other. So there is nothing something fixed, but yeah,
Mhm.
and even watching movies as well. So Netflix as always. So whenever I'm free, nowadays I also browse Netflix as well, but not that much. But yeah,
Mhm. Okay, so I would have a follow-up question here. What are you currently watching on Netflix?
currently watching. Yesterday I was watching Mismatched.
Okay,
That Yesterday I was watching that. Before that I was watching Bridgerton. Even
okay.
that I watched, and then yeah, there are so many series coming up one after the other. Yeah.
Any particular series or movie in general that you recommend highly?
Um from Netflix.
Yeah, yeah, or in general.
Um, I have to think of it. I'll let you know.
Yeah, yeah, sure, of course. I also read that you mentioned about still life sketches
Yes,
that interest you. So would you like to elaborate about that?
definitely. Still life sketches is something which is very much close to my heart. So even a simple object can be so much manifestating when you just put it on paper. So
Mhm.
during my childhood days, I used to do still life sketches as well a lot. So whenever, uh, like suppose a simple eye, and you can give different shades to it in form of
Okay.
pencil sketches. Then even I learned the sceneries, and like suppose if a water is falling, so even the background, how it will look, what are the various variations with a
Mhm.
simple 6B HB pencil, what all variations you could give. And then with cotton, you can say that smoky
Mhm.
touch to that particular sketch. So I wish I could have shown you now live, but I don't have it right now. I have to go to my study room to bring all those sketchbooks. But yeah, still life sketches is something which is very much close, because I could draw anything, whatever I see in front of myself, and I could just sketch it in my
Mhm.
particular way. So I did even once. We went for a picnic. I think I was in class 7th or 8th. So that time we went in the morning time around 5 a.m. So I really loved that morning sunrise view. And immediately
Okay.
when I came back in evening, I just had it in my drawing book. Like I was so much curious to get it done in my drawing book. So that kind of enthusiasm I had during those days.
Okay.
So I'm really enjoying it now, sharing it with you, because those days are
Mhm.
much behind. So now I don't get that much amount of time. But yeah, that's why I'm into doodle right now nowadays, because it doesn't take much time.
Right. Well, you are creative, Doyle. I must agree here. So do you have um any attributes that you love about yourself? Maybe most and the least favorite attribute about yourself.
Okay. The most favorite attribute about me, what I love is I'm a kind of person who is very much credible. If I say something, I will do it for sure. So even my professors and currently whom my colleagues with whom I am working on, so that kind of trust factor I create with people. Like if they have a connection, so they believe in me. So that is something very much positive about me. Or you can say, in other words, taking ownership for the things. If
Okay.
I say something, definitely it will be done. So even my professors have that faith in me that if this is given to Doyle, it will be done for sure. We don't have to worry at all. So this is the thing which I really admire about myself. And the thing which I don't like much about myself is sometimes I get really workaholic. That
Okay.
shouldn't be the case, because
Mhm.
when I had a lot of assignments to complete, since morning to evening, I am just completely into my laptops and everything is open. One way Python is there, the other side my Word docs are open, one side presentations I am working on.
Mhm.
So that shouldn't be the case. I should be balanced in maintaining family time as well along with my work life. So,
Right.
but yes, I have started doing it. So, in my last to last trimester, when we were completely into the work from, I'll say class from home, not work from home. So, I was very much into my laptops. Means around it
Mhm.
15 hours, I was completely into my laptops. But then I realized that it shouldn't be the case, because this is the family time which I'll never
Right.
get afterwards. So then what I did, I just limited it into in the gaps, like in slots, I would say. Like 4 hours, we have from morning 9 to evening 4 classes. So that I can't miss. So that I
Okay.
have to do. Then 4 to 6, it's a kind of quality time with my cousins and light, whatever I wish to do,
Mhm.
watching TV or having snacks with them. Then 6 to 9, I have a slot of my study time. Then 9 to 11, again, I am free with my family, dinner time and all. And then 11 to 2, it's my time when I had to complete or something, submission is there. So I had to work till 2 as well. So then
Okay.
again in the morning, the cycle repeats. So this way I managed.
Wow, you beautifully put the most and least favorite thing about yourself.
Thank
Okay,
you.
now I have a bit interesting and a different question here. Let's see how do you interpret this. What do you think is more preferable, being nice or being fair?
But I feel being fair is more preferable, because one cannot be a person who can please everyone, and we should also not try to please anyone. It should
Mhm.
be who we are, what exactly we are, and what we are projecting. So there should not be like suppose two faces, like one way we are showing something else, but what we are not happy. Like a simple example, if I am not that much liking the class, okay, it's okay not to like the class. It shouldn't be the case. I have to be always 100% attentive. But definitely, I can manage it. I can see the recording afterwards. And if I'm not feeling well, I can just leave the class and I can take permission from my professor that, okay, I'm not well. I'll be attending it later. So, definitely, being fair is a better option instead of being nice, because by being fair only one can be authentic to oneself, and there shouldn't be a kind of a guilty feeling like, no, I did something wrong with this person. So
Right.
that is something. And one more thing I would like to highlight, as this is the very much
Mhm.
booming topic, learn to say no. So many a
Yes.
times we are in the situation that we want to say no, but we don't say because we feel
Mhm.
the other person would feel right, will not feel good. But that shouldn't be the case. We should give proper justification to it that why we are saying no. And it's not possible to have everything at a particular point of time. So even this particular thing I learned in my management lesson.
Mhm,
When I was not into management, when I was working,
mhm.
even I had this hesitation while saying no. Most of the times I used to say yes, okay, I will manage. But no, it's very important to learn how to say no.
Right. I think we all have been in situations when we want to say no, but we end up saying yes. And I think so many times we forget that no is a complete sentence, you know. At times it's just
Very
okay
true.
to say no. So thank you for those beautiful words. Now let's get to our fun segment wherein I will be asking you rapid fire questions.
Okay,
So your answers are supposed to be quick. Okay. And
okay,
whatever the first thing comes in your mind, you can say that.
okay.
So are you
Done.
ready?
Just I'll have water. Just
Sure.
a second.
Sure. So that we can get completely, we can get the real you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So quickly choose between Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram.
Instagram.
All right. One thing you're excited about in near future?
Again, coming back to my profession,
Oh, lovely. If you had to eat one thing for every meal going forward, what would you eat?
ice cream.
Lovely. What compliment does people give you the most besides your name?
Cute.
Oh, I agree. I completely agree. Um, Morning, noon, or night? Your favorite time?
Night.
Okay. Work from home or working at the office?
Working at the office. I'm really
Yeah,
praying for it now.
right. Summer or winter?
Winter.
Okay. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Mhm. One place you would love to visit?
Manali.
Okay. Well, I am currently in Himachal Pradesh. Let me know
Oh,
whenever you would want to come. We'll go
definitely.
together.
Definitely.
Okay. What did you enjoy the most? A school life or college life?
College life.
Okay. Okay. Now that you're Bengali, one favorite sweet dish.
Rasmalai.
Okay. Cool. And before I end up this rapid fire segment, I would love to hear you say anything in Bengali. Anything you would want to say, and then please translate it for us.
তুমি খুব ভালো হচ্ছ and তোমার আওয়াজটা খুবই মিষ্টি.
Okay, I think I know
I
what it means. It
okay.
means that I am very good and my voice is also good. Right.
Wow. Your voice is very sweet.
Well, right back at you. I really love your name and now your voice as well.
Thank you
So
so
this
much.
was mostly it, Doyle. And just before we end this, you already have shared your mantra that you follow in your life. But do you have any lessons which you've learned along the way, which you would like to share with our viewers?
Definitely. So when I was preparing for my GMAT, so I
Mhm,
had a viewpoint that I'll be going abroad and pursue my, I mean, MBA program.
mhm,
But due to certain circumstances, life never goes as we plan. So I had finalized my B schools where I would be pursuing. Admissions was at the urge, but on a sudden I had to change my decision, and again I had to search for the colleges which is available in India and what I can do. So COVID has taught a lot, definitely, because
yes.
in India also I searched for the college which gave international program, but due to COVID I couldn't explore that. It got cancelled. So one of the semester was in France, but I
Okay.
couldn't go because of this COVID situation.
Um,
So definitely life is unpredictable, but the
mhm,
only lesson which I learned is to go with the flow and
mhm.
exploring the best what you can in that particular situation, and always being blessed and feel grateful for what you have and appreciating it. So that is something which will add on more and more. So appreciate, love, and being grateful is something which I always cherish.
Wow. You really amaze me with your answers every time.
Thank you so much.
Well, this was it. And I would like to tell you that, in case you're looking for leadership skills, or in case, now Doyle will also be completing her PGDM in HR and Business Analytics. And through her LinkedIn profile, I've got to know she has helped so many people achieve so many things. So, for our viewers, if you wish to learn any of those things, you can always get in touch with her. And will it be fine if we can mention your phone number and email ID in our description box?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
That's very kind of you. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Will, for taking out your time, being with us here. It was pleasure to host you.
Thank you so much to Mr. Vaishali. And you know what? I really liked your enthusiasm and your beautiful smile, the kind of charm which you have that engaged me more. And I was thinking that till 8 I had my classes today. It got over
Mhm.
and I was thinking, okay, at 8:30 I have this. But after starting interaction, I could live and really enjoyed the reminiscence which I had. And the
Mhm.
interaction is so much informal, and
Yeah.
I'm really loving it. I feel it could have gone more and more, but definitely I'm loving it. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I'm really thanks a lot. Really thankful to that. Thanks a lot,
You're
man.
welcome. You're always welcome. And our division and our members have always been our most valuable asset. So whatever makes them happy makes us happy. So yes, really, you do not need to thank. But thank you so much, Doyle, for being with us here today. You had lovely insights to share, and I hope that our viewers can, get to learn a lot from this interview. And thank you to all our viewers who have been with us in all these episodes. I hope you will love this episode as well. Thank you.